All right, let's dive into something that, let's be honest, can be a real headache for English learners. Prepositions. Yeah, those tiny little words. But don't worry, today we're going to look at them in a whole new way that's going to make everything simpler.
So, take a look at this sentence. The keys are the table. Something's obviously missing, right? You can just feel it. The sentence is broken. We have keys, we have a table, but how do they relate? We have absolutely no idea.
You see, without that one tiny connecting word, the keys and the table are just kind of floating around. The meaning is totally lost. It really shows you how powerful these little glue words are for creating a full picture in our minds.
But, check this out. As soon as we pop in a preposition, bam! The keys are on the table, or under the table, or beside the table. All of a sudden, everything is crystal clear. We know exactly where the keys are, and that is the magic of these little words. They paint the rest of the picture for us. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with why these words are so tricky in the first place. Then I'll introduce you to a super simple framework called the 3 magic questions. We'll walk through each one, where, when, and how, and then we'll wrap up with a practical plan to help you really master them.
Okay, let's get into it. Part 1, the problem with prepositions. We've all been there, right? Staring at a sentence, just guessing which tiny word to use. Let's talk about why that happens. First off, what even is a preposition? Well, the simplest way to think about it is as a connecting word. It's like word glue. It takes 2 things, like keys and table, and it sticks them together, showing us the relationship between them. It's the stuff that holds meaning together.
And now for the good stuff. Instead of trying to memorize hundreds of boring rules, I want to give you a simple framework, a totally new way of thinking about prepositions that just makes sense. And it all comes down to this number right here, 3. That's it, just 3 simple questions. If you can learn to ask these 3 questions, you'll be able to pick the right preposition pretty much every single time.
And here they are. The 3 magic questions are where, when, and how, or sometimes why. Seriously, almost every preposition in the entire English language is just trying to answer one of these 3 basic questions. So let's break them down one by one. Okay, let's kick things off with our first question. Where? This covers all the prepositions that deal with location and direction, and we're going to zoom in on the big 3 that cause the most headaches: in, on, and at. So here's the key difference. Even though they seem similar, they have really specific jobs. You use in when something is inside a defined space, a container of some sort, like in a car or in Amsterdam. You use on when something is touching a surface, on the table, or a picture on the wall. And you use at for a very specific point in space or for an event, like I'll see you at the cinema, or we met at a party.
Of course, where isn't just about things sitting still, it's also about movement. And this is a great way to picture it, like a journey. You start from home, maybe you go through a tunnel, then across a bridge, on your way to your final destination. See? These prepositions map out the whole route for you.
All right, we've nailed down where. Let's move on to our second question, when. And hey, some familiar words are about to pop up again, but you got to be careful, because when we're talking about time, they mean something completely different.
Now this slide is super important because it clears up so much confusion. For time, I want you to think about it like you're zooming in. We use in for the biggest containers of time, like months, years, or seasons. Think in August or in 1999. Then we zoom in a bit closer with on for specific days and dates, like on Friday or on my birthday. And finally, we get super specific, laser-focused, with at for a precise moment in time, like at 2:30 p.m. or at midnight.
And there are a few others, of course. Since points to the start of something that's still going on. For tells you the total amount of time. Until marks the end point of something. And by is your deadline. You have to finish the report by Friday.
So we've tackled where and when. Let's move on to our final magic question, how. This is the category for prepositions that explain connections, tools, reasons, all the relationships between ideas. Now, a classic point of confusion is the difference between with and by. And this example is just brilliant. You use with to talk about the tool you used. The book is the instrument. You use by to talk about the method or the action itself. How did she save your life? By killing the spider. The action was the method. See the difference?
And here are a few other super useful connectors. You could have a sentence like this. The cover of the book for my friend is about space. Of shows who or what it belongs to. For gives the purpose. And about tells you the topic. Easy, right?
Okay, so we've covered the framework. But you know what? Learning prepositions isn't always about pure logic. So, to wrap up, let's talk about some real-world strategies you can actually use to get better.
If you remember just one thing from all of this, please let it be this right here. The golden rule is to learn prepositions in context, as part of a phrase. Don't just try to memorize the word at. Instead, learn at night, at work, at the party. Context is everything.
So, what can you actually do? Well, first, look up common combinations, or collocations. Second, read a lot. Just let your brain soak up the patterns naturally. Third, listen. Listen to how native speakers use them in movies or podcasts. And fourth, and this is the big one, just practice. Start speaking, start writing, and do not be afraid to make mistakes. It's literally how we learn.
And please remember this. The goal here isn't to be perfect. I actually think the phrase, practice makes better, is way more useful than practice makes perfect. Every little bit of progress is a win.
Okay, it's time to put this into action, right now. I've got a little challenge for you. Just look around the room you're in. Go on, what do you see?
Now, try to describe what you see using a preposition. For example, maybe you're thinking, my laptop is on the desk in front of me. Just give it a shot. I promise, you've got this. Good luck.